everyone and welcome to my channel. This is MadisonSimm or Maddie for short. It's my very first video on YouTube, so thank you very much for even just clicking that link and watching this video. Like, it really means a lot to me. So this build, I'm calling it a small overwater bungalow. I tried to make it a tiny house at first, but it's still pretty tiny, but it doesn't fit into like my description of what a tiny house is, so I decided to call it a small overwater bungalow instead. So I actually cut out many parts of the footage of this build. To be very honest, I had such a hard time editing this video because I was just so indecisive during the whole process. Like, I just changed everything over and over again. It took me so long to finish the build, and so I had so much footage, but I tried to condense it into like 10 or maybe even 11 minutes so that it would be easy, very easy for you to watch. So this build is actually made up of like three big blocks. So the rightmost block, actually right now it's the left one on the screen. The left block is where you enter, and that's going to be the living room. The middle block contains or will contain rather the kitchen and the bedroom. And then the rightmost block, that one you see right now, is the bathroom. So it's actually a one bedroom home, but then there's no real partition between the bedroom and the kitchen. If you want to add that, you can easily do so by putting a door instead of just that overhang or that beam which you saw earlier. So like I said, I had such a hard time choosing items from this build, but because basically I love all of these island living items. I just got my pack recently. A really good friend gifted it to me and I love everything about it. So I'm actually from the Philippines, which is a tropical country, and we're also an archipelago, which means we have a lot of islands that look just like Sulani. And I felt like when I saw the pack, I felt like I was also somewhat being represented, even if it is based out of Indonesia as compared to like Southeast Asia. So like many elements are the same, but there's still some differences, of course. But let's talk about the Philippines and myself further in other videos. At this point, let's try to get ourselves back to the build. Now I'm doing the interiors. I had such a hard time with this living room, which is why I cut out like 90% of the footage. I just really couldn't decide on what swatch to use, what couch to use, what rug to use. And yeah, I think indecisiveness is basically the theme of this build. But I decided to use these couches also from Island Living. I love everything about these couches. Like, they look so nice with this very like modular box type design. I love all the lines, I love all the color swatches. But for this build, I went with blue, somewhat like a blue color palette. I'm gonna use blue repeatedly throughout the entire build. So here I am picking out rugs. I cut majority of the footage out as well, but I decided on using these two rugs from, actually I'm not very sure what packs they're from. I still have to brush up on my sim pack knowledge, and hopefully I'll be able to give more info on that in the coming videos. So right now I'm just again being indecisive with this plant in the corner, and now I'm cluttering the shelves here in the cluttering up the shelves here in the living room. I am using a mod here. This is the OMSP shelf. I learned about it through I think Evelyn or Miss Griffey's channel, and I was able to download it. I'm gonna link that down below so that you can download it as well. It makes cluttering up shelves and counters much easier because you don't have to press the 9 and the 0 keys to move things up and down anymore. So as you can see, that is the bedroom. I tried to put like these shell curtains to divide the bedroom from the rest of the kitchen and the living space, but they're actually not really shell curtains. I don't have the pack with the shell curtains just yet, so those are just curtains from, I think, City Living. Again, I'm not very sure. I have to check if that is correct. I tried to put in space for a cat in this house. But then at the end of the day, I think I just made it space for a dog because I couldn't find a place to put the litter box and other needs of the cat. So it became a home with space for a dog instead. So I made that kitchen. As you can see, I used that bathroom sink because I liked how it looked in front of that window, that slatted wooden window, which is probably my favorite item here in Sims Island Living. I put a dining area inside the kitchen, but I eventually moved that to the outdoor space. And in place, I put a desk. So I was thinking that this Sim is actually like somebody who just moved into Sulani from San Myshuno. So probably I was thinking he'd probably be a he, and he would probably be someone who was just tired of the city life and who wanted to move to Sulani for the relaxation and the fun that the beach life can bring. So he wanted a lot of the creature comforts of San Myshuno, but of course, he also wanted to immerse himself in the culture of the island. So right now, I'm doing the bathroom. As you can see, I used many of the new products, the new built-in-by items that were available to us because of island living. I also managed to put in this laundry area. So we have a washer and dryer, and we have a hamper as well. That I was able to play test that, and so I can assure you that it works perfectly well. Like you won't have any problem with your laundry. So moving on, I am now working on the back of the house. Like this is like the lower dock, and I was thinking it could be just a nice place to relax and like some recliners. You might be like drinking a beer or sipping a cocktail and just watching the sunset from your very own backyard. I also gave the Sim a boat. Like I said, he really wants to immerse himself in the island life, and he felt like being able to travel around Solani would be a very good way to do just that. And so right now, like I said, I'm moving the dining table outside. Like if I were the Sim and if I had that view, I'd love to eat outside all the time as well. And in place, I put that desk where the Sim can continue to chat with his friends from San Myshuno, continue to do work on the internet, and just to be connected basically still to the world that he was from prior to transferring to Sulani. Okay, so moving on right now, I'm just working on the front of the house. I just put a very simple wicker chair as well as like some plants for the Sim to enjoy. Like you could imagine him just hanging out there and people watching from his very own house on stilts over the water. So I decided also to use the size of the skateboard to make them look like surfboards, but actually before the end of the video, I sized that up even further for it to look like stand-up paddle boards, which I thought was a very cool idea because I enjoy stand-up paddleboarding a bit more than surfing. It's so much easier to stand up and paddle as compared to surf, and maybe the Sim wanted to try that out first. So right now I'm working on the landscaping. I kept it really, really minimal because the closer you are to the ocean, the less chances that would be for the grass to grow and the leaves to grow. And this is right about at the end of the build. Like I said, I sized up the skateboards even further, and I'm just adding finishing touches to the exterior. But before I end this video and before we proceed to the screenshots, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. It's the first of hopefully many. If you have any comments or suggestions, I would really appreciate them. If you could like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that even more. And I hope you really enjoyed. Have a good day. Bye!